Good morning, folks. It's 8:36 a.m. on the third month, 17th day, 2026, and here we go again. Got a man-made storm coming into being right now, being born over here in the Coral Sea. And so we're going to cover that, cover some of the totals, some of the incredible rains that are coming down. About, in some cases, 3 inches an hour. It's going to fall in some places, which equates to 6 centimeters in some of these spots. This thing is going to very quickly drop these totals across this the peninsula here of the fucking far north Queensland, and then over here in the where they would definitely the top is better than the bottom end over here, something different than the bottom end. Yeah, you got a big one coming through here, and it's going to ride the coast. There's no way this is going out to sea here at the end of this. This thing has to hug the coast, and it has to come back in, and it's just going to be an absolute nuisance for the rest of the month as this storm impacts Australia. But right now, it's the creaming of the northern parts of Australia up here that is concerning me the most, and how they've made this storm. We'll go over it. And my very first images that I can show you is of the EMF. And we'll be in this Mimic TPW that I've got here. We're just starting to see they're aiming it as it goes past these islands. There was not a chance of it veering in there. If it got in there, it would have hovered a bit and then gone that way. Now this is being absolutely aimed quite fast too, and it's moving through these lines of longitude and latitude, attitude lines. It's an attitude line. And very warm seas out here, so this is really going to be something. And when it crushes the peninsula and then gets back over our Carpentaria, it's actually going to strengthen big time and pick up even more rain. And so it's going to come visit Catherine, the Daly River and stuff. So let me show you what's about to occur and keep my motions to a minimum. And this is what it looks like now. I'm over here. It's just here. It's just south of the Solomon Islands and such. And well, it's just a big mess, isn't it? But it wasn't earlier. It was almost nothing, right? So as we came up on sunrise, get a really good definition of some of these chem deployments inside the circulation. You see all these squares in here, zigzag lines, zigzag. Look at that one there. Pop, 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 pop. These are typical chem bomb and electromagnetic frequency interference line patterns inside these cloud formations here, all these triangle looking things. It's not a big all round funneling system. You got EMF down low, it looks like a plane that laps in a circle like this, right? If I can pull up squigs here, and I mean, you can use a couple different colors to make my point. And so this should be pretty fine. Something came down here, did this, right? Then over the top of that, let's go with the comfortable blue, something deployed and puffed here and here and here, so its streamers and stuff went like that. And each one of these is different dynamics. That went over that deck. Then you got them blowing this one into place here with boom boom plumes here, the straight lines just coming up. Each one of them is, let's say, makes a cloud, goes and rises, takes a cloud, rises. It's what I'm seeing. Makes these big, long, tubular looking plumes. Very, very pronounced looking the way they do these. And then they make them next to each other. And they just form a big line, which becomes a viscous line. Here you get one of those chem bomb patterns, which is in the, see the emanation points, and bigger emanation point here. Dot, 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 dot. So this is just this one area, because it's going on over a vast area. And just because you say it can't be done, doesn't mean it isn't being done. Because it's always something that can't be done that gets done. The 4-minute mile. There's always a barrier to cross. And well, this is a line that they've crossed with playing God, and that is going to make God show up. And each one of us have to put an end to it. So, if we can pray it away, let's try. If we can scream outside a Parliament House and make it happen, let's try. Whatever it's going to take. But the EMF has really marked off exactly where this storm is going to go. And you can see the line between here and here is very well defined. So I did a graphic for you guys earlier and posted it on my wall. Let me see if I can find it. Actually, I'm going to do now is, yes, let's see if we can find it. And where I actually mapped out the influence lines, where if I come through here, I can use my mouse then. You see the arc shape here? That's actually mass moving that direction towards those islands north of it. And this here, the arc line here, is guided on EMF, is actually going to be bringing a big batch towards this Cairns area that's separate from this storm. And that's these tendrils here. So I had to map out how much water was in each one of those, as because of what's currently falling out at sea. It'll pretty much keep going as it comes ashore here. So this is the determinant I did. And the path of this storm is really spelled out well. And the difference of just a little bit of a darker here, of a haze. That's where the clouds got knocked out. And it's on a certain deck that then this stuff coming over the top of, but the low deck guiding line will remain in place. And a big beam here, from a device, I think it's out in a ship located right about here. See that triangle's kind of pointing at something here. And the EMF lines, if it's moving, it's moving about. But right here, it shot a beam down south all the way. It really went a long way. It's actually going to go off screen. This one here, it actually goes towards the coast of Brisbane, Harvey Bay area. It's very wide. And what they did is they just hold the beam here because it's the emanation point, and pan the beam in this direction. And it's actually squeezed this stuff together. And as it's squeezing it, the only outlet for the squeeze is this direction. So it's forcing all that ashore. So I'm expecting a bit of action there, a bit of a triangle there. Would they do demons in your skies to sacrifice your skull and bones there? Kid. That's never a good sign, seeing Mr. Bones in the sky. And it's a sign of geoengineering. And just because you don't believe in it doesn't make it so. And I can prove geoengineering. And well, that is all on that. So this big mess of crap out here is all chem deployments on many layers of the atmosphere. Like that grayer one's lower in the atmosphere than this whiter one. Boom, 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 boom went the plumes, and away went for the sunny day for whatever fish was under there, I'll tell you that. Yep. Not good at all. Okay, so let's run over the forecast part of this. And as you can look out here even, I can see the main flow across your nation. I'm going to have to zoom way back to get my point across on this one. And the main flows of the EMF from your localized NEXRAD radars all team together to make a couple big dividing lines. I don't care what color this is, we'll just show you. There and there is dividing line 1. Now this area here has an EMF blast that went like this. It's forced some tropical air down, and it left a corridor for the cold air here to squeeze through. And the big scalar square has not totally left that separate, so some of the cold air did creep up into the coastal areas and through here, which is going to fuel some of the storms you're going to see this weekend. See this scalar square right here? Probably about as big as I can get it right there, with all these bombs in the center. Well, they made a gear in the center of that right here that's going to scoop. And when it scoops, it's going to bring a lot of moisture and cold air up in to meet that tropical air here. That's going to cause a lot of volatility along here, which is going to lead us in serious totals, probably about 10 centimeters in some spots. And I'm saying centimeters. I know the difference. Or I'm going to start doing your forecast in inches, and you're going to show me that you can learn yourself that there's differences in units in this world, and some people know. Right? So if I take some of this off now, some of that confusion, let me go back to the main flow lines that I wanted to show about the radars moving. You'll notice this one here. I'm going to change this color. It's one through here. That's a heated flow is rotating this direction here, like that. Okay? So it's bringing that up and in. This one here, it was rotating like this. So it's bringing that dynamics in. But the flow line here separated the storm. So the storm comes this way. That stuff, moisture, kicks in underneath that. And those things will meet right about here, probably in about 3 days. And that's going to be the fuel that's needed to feed the storm. It's going to flood out this particular area where you can see its guiding lines right here. Where there's no way it's going to get all the way there without going out to sea. And the hard line barrier was put here. So as she comes across, the storm is going to be wide. It's probably about like that wide. And so she's kicking like this as she comes across and down into the land. Where I think she'll go a little more like this before she hits this barrier here. and she starts to come across in through here, and then out here some of its stuff's going to then influence you guys, and while there we're at the end of the month. It's a storm that's not going to go away, and it's all going to walk around this EMF, and a lot of it has to do with this area here where Alice Spring is, and this line here is going to get trapped under that EMF, and so there's where you're going to get your waterfall. And for Uluru that's coming. Isn't that the big old dance? It's a big dance. And it's a dance that makes you piss your under put a pair of pants if you fully understood what was coming down on top of you, what's falling out from the stuff in the sky. Because, you know, what goes up must come down. Bum, bum, bum. Nanotechnology breathing it now. The chemtrail falling from the sky is in the room with you now. It is. The chemtrail is in the room with you now. Somebody had the gall to ask me if it was in the room with me now. Is that how you belittle people? Does that add to your argument, that validity, its effect, is to act like a numbnut? No, it does not. To be a bully is just to be a numbnut. You know, mean people suck. So let's watch this incredible geostorm and how it's going to unfold. And you'll briefly hear me talking, hopefully. Yep, the sound is working, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy, isn't it so much fun to have full-on blown Tourette's where you don't even want to leave the house some days. And this is one of them. I was on the phone with Julie earlier. You should have heard some of the shit coming out of my mouth, reading your guys' comments on things. Yeah, asking me, like, is it is it millimeters? Come on. Can't you fathom how much water can be dropped on top of you and how fast these things can happen? This is Thursday. If you don't make a decision in the next 24 hours in this area, you ain't going to be able to go west, you ain't going to be able to go south, and you ain't going to be able to go north. You're going to be sitting tight in a big old bed of a perfect breeding ground of mosquitoes. Oh my gosh, what's going on up there? Is it harvest time for sugar canes and fruits? At about this point, she'll be fully formed. I'm not expecting to see a very well organized eye at a pressure of 993. And even at this point here, she's dropping 2 centimeters an hour, and that's too low. The bigger sides of the rays should be right here. So again, I'm seeing a little anomaly in the graphic I'm not agreeing with already. So the accumulation out there I see is non-existent. That's too low. As this passes, it should be well over 400. So I'm expecting them to get honest and actually rise with these totals. Yeah, that's rubbish, that. Did you hear what I said? As it comes to shore, it's going to be quite dramatic. So let's go to landfall and more of that time. Because how it's rated over in the middle of the ocean, I didn't give monkeys toss about, other than how much is falling. And so did we get to shore? Again, they're not showing the turnaround rain here. So I'm not understanding that. And what's happening to the water here should actually be marked. And the wind should be quite fierce, like over here, that I wouldn't want to be caught out here, unless you got a surfboard. Fucking hint. On this side of, what is this? I don't even tell you what the name is. Rocky Mountain area here. Now, this town actually has a name. At whatever point this is, don't be out here. It's going to be terrible, terrible totals. So all the water that hits this side here with the rain's going to go towards any road here. Like, don't be camping over in the Terrence Trent D'Arby National Park, because they're never going to stop. That's somebody else's. That's seal, isn't it? They cracking the 7th seal in the sky over the top. It looks like this, because boy, they're so bent on having Armageddon happen. You don't even notice the weather war over the top. You have you. You're so dang worried about what's happening thousands of miles away. You don't even look enough hundreds of miles off your own coast. What a shame. Weepa, it looks like she should be going south to you. I don't see how you're going to get a big brunt on this. Because the EMF line is definitely walked it south to you. What do they want over here? A new port or something? Because this is a perfect place to put a new port. It's right here, isn't it? See a shelter in here? That's a great place for a port. This road here, give new railroads to bring all your goods to somewhere else. Like, you don't need them. Y'all worry about bringing foreign people to your country, sending all your goods abroad. What fucking hell? You guys get walk your truths, please. And it's going to crush Carpentaria right by here. I'm not 100% sure how much water it has left by the time it gets here, but it's going to pick a whole lot of it back up. It's got to be a super high pressure feeding this thing. When you get this thing clocking along like this, It's going to take big pressures to feed this somewhere. You can't tell me a 10, 13 pressures feeding that. It's going to take localized heating from microwaves in the storms to maintain the convections of this. The only way I can see how this storm is maintaining its organization at this point on Friday. And this will be Saturday your time. This is Saturday afternoon. She's steaming toward Darwin. I say it's going south of Darwin by the lines that I see of the EMF right now. But if I was along the Daly River, I'd be preparing now to either bug out or have my stuff up in the air. Or you'll go help each other. Move the couches upstairs. I think you're going to need it. Or make sure you've gone there and back as you needed to before this happens, because your transport link is about to be cut. You're all worried about old freaking damn Straits of Hormuz all the way over here. You know where that is? That's here. It's just the Straits of Hormuz. You do realize they've took on a pipeline over here, so they've been loading the oil up over here. So you ain't had a gap, and it's coming out over here. But you know, if they had a chance to raise prices of gas that's already in the ground, bought and paid for, we call that price gouging and glutton. It's a lot in time of an emergency, isn't it? But hey, when you people went wild off toilet paper, like you'd never ever be able to wipe again during COVID, what do you expect? Yeah, never wipe again. And I'll never ever wipe again. Oh, we got a two-car silent over here about a cock-a-doodle-do-it over here, but we're going to stop now. Because I can't say I'm 100% accurate on what his path's going to be from here, but the EMF that I just mapped out for you really showed you what the intentional flows are right here. And you can see where swirly girl's going to go. I really don't know what the name of this storm's going to do. What it is, but this is what it looks like. So let's just do it. Let's have a nice color. Okay, so you give her a blue dress. So she's spinning like this, and it's white. And from here to here is how wide. And let's see if we can get a quick reading on that. We like facts, don't we? I want to say I hope I'm right, but I could just measure and see if I'm right. That's the scalar square. It's inside is roughly 600 miles. And on a diagonal line, it would be a bit bigger. His squares all the way to here. So that's the field of the storm, is basically the inside of the energy of the scalar square itself. So we could do like this. So let's show you the square is going to go. So start looking for squares. Where's the square? There's a big one here. So she's coming here. So here she goes. Yep, there's another square here. So she's coming. Where's the big lines? Here we go. All mapping out lines of influence. I can't see no influence there. Definitely lines here. There's steps. Alright. So, as she comes in, stalls, gets her moisture stripped off. Comes back out to sea. It's just as a momentum. It should come down a little more, and then it hits another square here. Then she's in. And visits you. That's the extent of that. Hi. Chem-bomb suck. I'm Mr. Climate Change. Look, it's a cow. It's sharding on you. It's all its fault. Look over at the left hand while the right hand is screwing your ass. Right. Because that's how it's going right now. You guys just got screwed on your prices of your gas and everything going up in prices, and they just destroyed a whole bunch of crops up here. Somebody let me know whether that's sugar cane in time. And that's about all I can do for you guys right now. So I'm going to, on that particular part of the world, and so I'm going to go over here and get this coast in. And yes, New Zealand, I haven't forgot about it. If I'm going to be in pain, let it just last. I'm just trying not to do so much scrollings now. And then we're going to come on, and I'm going to have a sale. I'm going to sell some jewelry. I got some vortexers of my design to sell. And I noticed the fault in the wedge. Somebody mentioned how to sell, how to make, how to sell. Yeah, how he sells them. Oh, you put some pyramids on them. Mumbo and jumbo it, please. Nah, it brings Hall effect, electrical potential into an electrolyte, and I'll even explain how electrolytes work. Electrolytes is any kind of a mineral can be an electrolyte, and it has the ability to conduct electricity around the outside of its shape. Mm. Oh, yes, yes. So we put potential in it to be able to do that really well. It's a nice, complicated, uncomplicated thing. The Hall effect in you. I think light has a Hall effect. Mm-hmm. Is the shadow just a Hall effect? Talk about this. I want to talk about this. Yeah, you see it coming here, Carthagena Harbor? Yeah, while they're fucking it up there, you guys better get some steadies. These steadies coming on for the weekend. But it was really the ones on Friday night and Saturday night I was concerned about. As the system starts dipping down and leaning towards, I guess I'll bring New Zealand in. Yeah, how you? And look, you had some stars. It came through, it crushed you, and then it stopped, right? I don't see this one hitting you. Is why I ain't really made a comment about it. The EMF says no. EMF says no. Right? The EMF here says no. See these two scalar squares here? Inside all these chemtrails on this storm? These are chemtrails, you know. Hey, Ken Ring, in case you don't know, these are chemtrails. We can call them chemtrails if you feel like you get credit for them or something, act like you discovered them. Yeah, that's what you're all about, isn't it? This is a fizzler. Yeah, this is a fizzler. It's a fizzler, but you see the demon in here? You see the star? See what they did in your sky? See it? Yeah. They're a bunch of devils controlling the weather. But there's distinct lines on the scalar square that, whatever they're going to call this, cyclone, devilish, I don't know. And bring her right on in. Big curveball. She's going to ride that lane. Nowhere else for it to go, folks. You even see the square they set up waiting for it. It's waiting for it. That'll be slowly rotating like a gear. It'll help steer it straight under that line. That's why you said weep. I thought you looked like you was all right. And she's going to come right across here. That's where she's going to come ashore, then, right here. I don't know what that area is, but the chemtrails just set it off. The chem bombs have spoken. This will absolutely visit you here. Which means this area for the part, you're fucked. Hey, so if I was in how the hell you pronouncing this? A Urukun? Urukunt. Yeah, you cunts and Urukunt over there better get fucked. Where is it? Or I don't know. Somebody will correct me 100,000 ways. This place over here, where it looks like a perfect spot for a new park, a smart city, and right here. But that says that's where it's common. Yep. Boy, you guys got fucked. You got geo done. And it's going right over the top of this reef. And all this stuff that's in this storm is going right over the top of this reef. And all that fallout, if it's acidic, it's going right over the top of this reef. Acid and coral. Gee, could that be bleaching it? Could geoengineering be the problem? Could trying to change the climate be causing climate change? I say yes. I say yes. So let's continue this before I start full-on swearing again, because I'm upset again. All right, here's today. That's how the penguins dashed on the rocks in the Southlands down there near the invert called Super Duper Fryer, known as the Super Darn Radar. Yeah, we're going up here. It runs into the spine, and the EMS says no. And the storm should just start to die right about there, because it's holding this off, right? The lines and all that chem and all that shit. You'll be breathing some of that. It's a fell wind down there on the low ocean deck today. You'll be an eye burner. You got lucky. Very lucky. It looks like EMF has just been used to defend the North Island of New Zealand from a storm, but it isn't being used to defend this town here. You're about to get it. So let's go over back here, because I have one more storm area to cover on the weekend, and I'm going to stop and take my hands up. That's about reached my painful limit. You try getting hit by a fucking bus to see if you're ever the same again. Nah, don't try it. I wouldn't wish this experience on anybody. You got all that, a storm coming in from east to west, while you have one coming from west to east, down low. That's Geoengineer 101 there. A little Lando cane coming to get you. So your storm out here is this one. Alright, so this one here is coming your way. down towards this area. All right, so I told you had a couple geostorms we have to watch. You see that one that looked like home plate? The shape, the non-round circulation. Yep, the only thing circulating is a bunch of lies about weather. Man, weather's not only real, I'm showing it to you right now. Right in front of your eyes. Open your mind. The prize is the truth these days. Yep. Don't expect to get a reward for knowing it. See how this cloud just stays in place, just puffing? I'm noticing this right here where I'm holding my mouse. Yeah, that thing should be moving along with its dynamics, wouldn't you say? Making cloud as it went? Well, something is up here is generating cloud. You either got a factory and power plant adding bunches of steam, surface air cooler from maybe a data center, keeping the computer cool, so it's steaming it up to cool itself, or maybe it's just a deliberate deployment of the device in the atmosphere with hygroscopic, GRO, hygroscopic properties, like the stuff they put in a receiver dryer and an air conditioner designed to pull moisture toward itself. Aluminum salts will do this. Are we picking up aluminum salts in the ground, soil samples and hair samples? Yes, we are. So this is your geostorm coming this way. It's totally nonsensical. And this scalar square here, I'll back it up a bit. So when the condensates hit that, they'll collide and then become big enough to start to fall. What a shame. See the corridor of flow right here? It's like it made a turn towards the coast. So this is your area that gets the rains. Here, an area through the pocket in between where I'm pointing here gets the rains. So let's go over that. Just because it's got EMF today don't mean it's not going to rain there tomorrow. If anything, it makes it more likely. Too much can stop it from raining. Because you have so many particles up there that have condensates on them that they never get heavy enough to fall. And they don't coalesce the water onto other droplets. But I gotta say this. Who likes surfing? Get your ass to the coast. This is your weekend. Yeah, you'll have great surf this weekend. Yourself down at Beardsley Beach. Get yourself out there. Tweeds, Burley, surfers. Yeah, that area. Byron, of course. I think the southern bay would do better at Byron. Just past the point. If I hadn't sat there and looked, I wouldn't know. Go up to the White House. If you're ever there, what a view. Oh, hold on to your hat, though. Say hi to the people there. Say you make a good coffee. Yeah, this is your Sunday weather. But this would be evening hours of Saturday when this comes across. But I think it might be a little earlier than that. So if you're planning on having a bonfire on the beach on Saturday, have a hurricane lighter, and that's about as the extent of it. You look at that being lit. And up the coast she goes with the wets, well needed for the garden, knock some of that dust out of the air. Oh, wait a minute, no, wait. Nowadays they say it causes an asthma instead of knocking dust out of the air. So what's causing the asthma if it isn't the dust? Oh, yeah, that old reason doesn't stop just because a new reason comes along. Yeah. Are you kidding? Somebody's actually got too many vested interests in the policies that are yielded, or the results of your policies, of too many governance houses of the world. Like if somebody's selling you a pill to make you well, but then is also selling you something that puts in the sky that might make you sick, Bill Gates, I think that's a vested interest. It needs to be considered by the purchaser. Caveat emptor, motherfuckers. Let the buyer beware. Or did you never watch the Brady Bunch? As this is going to be a steamer. And I ain't sure where this one's going to go yet, so we're not going to worry about that one. Let's not concern ourselves with it, right? What we're concerned ourselves is what's going to happen today, what's now. And right now they got a big swath of a terrible geostorm that's bearing down just south of Weeper, right over the new pier that wants a port. I bet it does. Now the totals are getting a little honest. You see how it was only having a quarter before? I said, no, you better put that son of a bitch up to about a half a meter for that port area. Yeah, because that's what I'm thinking along this main swath here. A 500 mil will not surprise me. And when this thing is dumping 3 centimeters an hour, a day of that is too much, wouldn't you say? So let's prepare for the worst and hope for the best, and if we could pray something away, we shall. One thing I'm noticing that's kind of weird about the projected totals is the sine wave, isn't it? See it? So as a sine wave would move, this would be just dynamics. If a sine wave moved like this, let's get better color. If a sine wave moves like this, right, and you have a cross wave coming down like this, 11th harmonic hit. Every time water went up there, it turned direction, she'd drop a little extra rain, drop a little extra rain, drop a little extra rain. Well, what am I seeing here? I'm seeing 11th harmonic sine wave inside these formations, the gaps of even the predicted rain totals, even the computer models picking that up. Interesting. Well, when frequency is used to control and move weather systems, then we shall see the signs of what type frequencies in the sky, whether it's a square wave like this big square mesh here, or whether it's a sine wave like shows up in those totals. We're gonna know. We're gonna know. You can't hide your lies in the skies from educated eyes. Big love. Stay safe. Peace.